Drayton Manor. Yeah, that place I never talk about. To be honest though, the last time I did talk about it was back in March. So that leaves me 4 months of things that have happened since then. And what has happened since then? Well, construction went vertical. And by that, it's gone about as vertical as vertical velocity. And not the one that genuinely goes vertical. Okay, what actually do we know now that we didn't know before? Well, a bunch of the things that I said in the last video were actually correct. And that is why you should subscribe to Coast of Shardark. We are almost at 100. Just need to get a little bit more to be able to push this over. Make that graph look a bit higher. Maybe eventually it may even overtake the male to female ratio. So now we've gone through the nothing that have happened in the past forever. It's now time to waffle about Drayton Manor. Yeah. Splash Canyon or Adventure Cove River Rapids Motorbike Adventure of Doom. Yeah. That's reopening as part of Adventure Cove. New rafts, as predicted. As a whole, that entire refurbed area looks pretty sweet. And as for the future, what can we expect? Well, we can expect money being put into the park. The Looping Group have already been pumping money into their UK parks, and with Drayton being the newest and largest of the parks, we can expect money. But what could that be spent on? Well, you have the electrical bills and the water. Well, at the minute, refurbishing the park is working well for them, so they will probably continue with that. What could we see being refurbished is the pirate area and the zoo. Those areas are a bit run down, and some painting and a new attraction in the pirate area could fit perfectly. If that new ride was to be a coaster, it couldn't be too large because there is a zoo right there and that would be bad.
I got a bad feeling about this.
As for the zoo, yeah, it's slightly sketchy. What they could do is fill in the empty plots and just show a bit of love. Also, a good idea would be to open the zoo during the off-season as a standalone attraction, just to get that extra bit of money. Continuing with the refurbishment of rides, we have all of the standalone areas on the other side of the park. All of the rides there have their own individual themes. And what if they extended the areas? We could have an apocalyptic theme around Apocalypse, the old Ferris wheel plot, and Pandemonium. Then there could be a racing/speedway theme around Accelerator, Flying Dutchman, and maybe it could extend around the lake's edge for all of the shops there and stuff like that. Who knows? A Germanic area could go around Junk and Barrels and that whole area at the top of the park, and that would be cool. With a new flat, and maybe even an Oktoberfest area, because apparently that's a thing that theme parks do now. Welcome to Phase 2. And with this phase, less money is being pumped into park improvements. And this time, we could actually get some new stuff. So now we could see some new flats, and maybe even a coaster. But what and where? Wind Ridley isn't a factor in this, as my predictions are nowhere near good enough for that. What about a disco? Now, this would be a great fit for the manor. We have seen these popping up all over the UK, including West Midlands Safari Park, which is also owned by the same parent group. A smaller model, like Mia's Riding Adventure, which I myself has ridden, would fit well. There are a few possible locations for a ride like this. We have this area of grass up here by Barrels, as well in that plaza by Apocalypse, both fitting a 33 by 12 metre footprint, as well as that tree by the Flying Dutchman and Accelerator. Finally, they could add one here if they were ever wanted to expand Thomasland out a little further. As for a larger model, which fits an 85 by 10 metre plot, that can fit in lawns on the other side of Buffalo. Next up, we have the Zamperla Nebula. There is no Z on the end of that. And where could that go? So there is this area here, opposite Humble Pies, as well as the previously mentioned locations. What rides could have the boot during this phase of development? I'm going to go on a wild guess with some of these removals. Jolly Buccaneer. It turns 30 next year, and my main thought is to swap it up a bit and maybe upgrade it to a newer model, or just getting something new completely. So as that, you have Pandemonium and Apocalypse under threat. There's also the exact same ride as the Flying Dutchman being built on the other side of the park, making the Dutchman obsolete. This means if all 3 of the neighbouring rides were removed, as well as that previously mentioned patch of grass, we have enough room to build a rumoured free spin, or even better, an RMC Raptor could fit snugly into that space. Maybe a new gen Vekoma could go there, or a Chance Hyper GTX. Put your thoughts about that in the comments section down below. World domination.